Welcome back, everyone, to Clear Talk. On this episode, we're going to talk about is taking a break from working productive, why you don't need websites and fancy branding stuff to grow your business and get clients, and lastly, the number one biggest crime entrepreneurs are making around the world that needs to stop right now. Enjoy the show. So we're live right now. We're on YouTube. So everyone on YouTube, hey, what's going on? Instagram, welcome. Everyone checking it out. I'm also going to be live watching. So I'm with you guys here. Instagram, I'm right here with you guys, so I can actually see your questions this time on live, and then on Facebook as well. I can see you guys. If you have questions, by the way, on Facebook, let me know. For everyone getting on, by the way, hey, what's up? I see a bunch of people on. Anika, Alan, Teresa, Jessica, two different Alans. Damn. What else? Cindy. What's going on, everyone? So, guys, here's how this works. Okay, I answer your questions. You ask them. So you can go to askarmin.com and damn, up to this is a great shot, man. Woo! Look at this. I'm looking at myself. It's pretty good. We got a lot of people on right now. What's going on, everybody? So here's how this works. You can go to askarmin.com and I will answer your questions. If you submit them, they're live on the show every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Or while we're here live right now, Instagram, Facebook, you can ask questions and I will be watching to see what questions you guys have. On Instagram, by the way, what's up to everybody? Arvin, Irish, Manos, Tahal, Elham. I know it's Ilham because that's Persian way to say it, but I'm going to say Ilham just to make sure I sound Canadian. C Knowledge. What's going on? Whew, I almost dropped this. Manos, what's your job? Wow, great question. We're already starting out, Manos. What's my job? I don't know. I actually don't know how to describe it. All I know is that I help a lot of people do a lot of different things. My job specifically, I would say it's a great question. I'll quickly answer this before we get into the show. So, Manos, to answer your question, what my job is, my job specifically is coaching. Like, I'm a coach. And so I'm a business coach. I help people build businesses online and offline. Running events and running online businesses so that they can, sell their own expertise, coaching and help and whatnot. And then I'm also, as a coach, I'm also a trainer and a speaker, meaning like I can run events and I speak and I train teams together. So essentially, if you look at the core of what I do in my job is I teach. I'm a teacher in different forms. I'm a teacher in coaching, so I help you do it step by step. I'm a teacher in speaking, so I show you information on stages or in front of cameras. Or I'm a teacher through training, which means I walk you through how to do something and learn how to do things, right? So that's essentially, that's the core of like my job is I'm a full-time teacher in a sense, right? Self-education teacher. I'm a knowledge teacher. Does that make sense? So hopefully that answers your question. But to everyone on Instagram, what's going on? If you ask your questions, I'll see them. If you leave comments, I'll see them. For everyone on Facebook, I have you here. What's up, everybody? Anthony, Shagufa, Michael, Leith, Tammy, Gina, Shelma. What's up, everybody? So you can go to askarmin.com to ask your questions, and we'll answer them on the next show. Or you can ask your questions here in the comments on Instagram and on Facebook, and I will get to them on the show. So if you're ready, Jay. Whew. First of all, just like quick little coffee talk update. Everything's good. Everything's great. Everything's just good. It's good. Things are happening. Like bad things are happening, but I've been able to just completely focus on what's good and how grateful I am for a lot of things actually. So life's good, it's a choice and my choice is paying off because it's good. That's what I love. So love you guys so much. We got a lot of people on right now, by the way. So let's hop into the questions. Let's see what kind of questions there are. And I'm going to do my best to give you guys some perspective.
Okay. So this question is from I am Sagalini. Mm-hmm. I get tired easily when studying or learning. How do I deal with it?
I get tired easily when studying or learning. Actually, this is a good question. And I'm assuming you're a student. By the way, guys, just so you know, when you ask questions, make sure they're about either entrepreneurship, or something related to it. Even though I can give you advice on not advice, but I can give you different things on different subjects. I would just the show is for entrepreneurs. So if you're a student, it's okay. If you're thinking about entrepreneurial things, ask me those. It's more relevant to the show. So here's my thing. I was just talking to someone about this. I was actually mentoring a very, very, very bright individual, young man, 15 years old only. Okay, and this kid's already built like an online business, sold like $16,000 online, and he's 15. And he consults full adults on their businesses because his brain is like immersed and obsessed with just marketing, online marketing. So I remember I was talking to him. His name's Yash. If he's watching this, Yash, shout out to you. I was talking to him yesterday, and he asked me that similar question, even as an entrepreneur. He said, I'm staying up until like 3, 4 in the morning, and I get super tired throughout the day. And so, is that a bad thing? And I remember I said to him, I said, look, and I'm going to answer the question here, which is I get tired very easily, right? While I'm studying or I'm working. Like, or learning, how do I fix that? So sleep, okay? I know it sounds like a stupid, pretty straightforward answer, but I think people underrate or overrate sleep. So you don't need a lot of it, but you also need enough of it. And so enough is completely up to you. I think there's studies done on this, so you should look it up. Like, do some research on your own to learn what amount of sleep is good. But I will tell you this, if you're lacking sleep and you're deprived of sleep, you will absolutely be unproductive. Like, it'll be harder to be productive than if you did sleep. And so I learned this the hard way. If you're tired doing either working or learning or studying, whatever it is, you're probably not sleeping enough. And the only reason why you wouldn't sleep enough is when you think that if you stay awake until 3, 4, or 2 or 1 in the morning to finish work, it's a better idea than to just sleep at 10 or 9 and wake up earlier. You go, Armin, I'm a night owl. I am too, trust me. Like, I like to work until 4 in the morning because no one can distract me. Everyone's asleep. However, here's what I learned from my experience. I've tried everything. I've tried the burning out stages. I've tried sleeping in like all-nighters in my office, sleeping on my office floor and then waking up working again. I've tried that. I've tried sleeping super early. I've tried sleeping kind of like midnight. And I'll tell you, I've tried them all. And hands down, I'm more productive when I sleep well. And so when I sleep well, like I'll sleep by like 10 or 11. That's well to me. That's early to me. 10 or 11. And then I wake up around like 6, maybe 7. So I get a lot of sleep. Like, that's a lot of hours, right? Yeah, it's a lot of, I'm doing that now. Before, I tried to sleep at 2 or 3 and wake up at like 8, and I was fine. So I still was fine, but long term, here's what I realized. If I'm sleep deprived the next day, it will take twice the amount of effort and energy to focus and concentrate. Okay, so I would be tired throughout the day. And so by default, I would actually get less done, even though I spent more hours last night working. So I tried the opposite. I created this rule. I said, look, I got to leave my office at 9 no matter what, so I'm in bed by like 10 or 10:30. Okay, so I tried that. Here's what I learned. When I slept earlier, instead of 3 o'clock in the morning, I slept at like 11 or 12 or 10:30, whatever. The next day, when I did wake up around 6 or 7, you know what happened? I was incredibly energized. So even though I did technically have less hours in my office to work, I got more done. And the reason is because my mental state was energized. It was focused. I was feeling better. Because I was feeling better, I got more done in less hours. So it's a complete myth that if you, like, all the people are like, you got to sleep 4 hours a day. Yes, sometimes it's going to call you, your business, if you're in business, it's going to call you to sleep, on 2 hours a day for a short period of time. But nothing is sustainable like that long term. So this whole like burnout thing or, entrepreneur hustle, like sleep 3 hours a day. Like, no, I've done it. I'm telling you, that's not true. Wildly successful people in business, they actually take care of their health. They take care of their bodies because that makes them sharp. You got to be sharp. And there's 4 pillars, by the way, that Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich talks about to keep your mind, your mental state in a healthy state. One is, the first thing is nutrition, like adequate nutrition. Make sure you eat. If you eat terrible things, you can't think because your digestive system's backed up. You're not going to the washroom enough. You're feeling, lethargic. That's not going to help. You're not going to make a lot of money or achieve your goals if you feel like that. So the first thing is health, like your diet. The second thing is a positive attitude, positive mind. This is absolutely something he says is important. If your mind is filled with negativity or fear, it's going to be very difficult for you to build any type of success in your life. The third thing is meditation. Meditation meaning like on a daily basis, you clear your mind, you silence yourself, and not sleeping. Like as you're fully awake, you just clear your mind, you relax at least for 10 minutes. Meditation is a vital part of health. And the fourth thing is sleep, sufficient sleep. He talks about this. It's 100 years ago he built this philosophy. Sufficient sleep. And he specifically just says in simple terms, if you don't get enough sleep, your mental state will be foggy. Like your mind will be tired and lethargic. And so for that reason, you won't be able to get a lot done. So you got to kind of sharpen your mind. And the way you do that is those 4 things. So if you're tired, make sure you're sleeping. Now, let's say you're not, you make sure let's say you're sleeping, but you're still tired. I'll tell you the only reason why someone will be fully awake but totally disengaged with learning or studying or what they're doing and they feel tired is because they're bored. The only reason why you'd be bored doing something is because you don't actually want to do it. And so I would say the only exception, not exception, but gray area to losing sleep, but you're still energized, which I've been there, is when you are in love with what you're doing. When you have so much passion for what you're building or the goal you have that when you're studying or you're learning or you're working, it actually makes you feel more energized. I've had times, I'll tell you this, with this being said with the whole sleep thing, I've had times when I'm leaving my office at like 4:30 in the morning and I started working at 10 a.m. the day before, and I'm walking out as if the day just started. Like I have energy. I'm walking out to my car, 4:30. The birds are like, choo, 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 choo. You know when you hear the birds? That's when you know it's an all-nighter. That's when you know you didn't sleep, when you hear the birds wake up, okay? I'm walking out of my office building when I'm going to unmute this real quick, make sure it sounds good. I'm walking out as if the day just started. Like I have energy. Because I'm like yelling. I want to make sure. To my car, 4:30. So it's good, right? Yeah, so check this out. I'm walking out with birds chirping, okay? And I feel like I can run a marathon. How come I feel like I can run a marathon? Because I walked out energized for my goal. So if you're studying, learning, working right now and you're tired, the only thing you got to do is make sure you're sleeping. Like, don't fool yourself. If you go too many days without sleep or sufficient sleep, you will work less productively throughout the next day. So just get earlier rest and then wake up earlier. And if you hate that, then at least just sleep enough so that when you wake up, in the shorter amount of time you have throughout the day, you get more done. Okay, your mind has to be sharp. Or make sure your goal is exactly what you want, and you know what you want, and you're excited. Because excitement is the ultimate remedy to like boredom, tiredness, or disengagement with what you do. I'm telling you right now. So that answers. I hope that answers the question. Like I'm studying, or I'm learning, or I'm going to put in working. And the question, is like, how do I fix that? How do I fix that I'm tired? So just make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're not eating crap that makes you tired. And then, and also like, make sure you love what you're doing. Because if you love your goal and you're excited, nothing can, even sleep, like lack of sleep can't bring you down. That's, by the way, what causes burnout. When you're so excited about the goal, you go for days without sleeping. And I've been there, okay? But I've never burn out anymore because it's a mental attitude. Just sleep well and make sure you also work well. And when I was talking to Yash, and he was saying, how do I know what's productive and what's not? Like, is it a waste of time to go for a run? And I said, what do you think? He goes, well, no. I said, so why ask me? I think the number one problem people have is like they don't trust their own opinions about things. Deep, eh? I think a huge
likes and thumbs up.
Yeah, I haven't looked at my screen yet. Hold on, guys. We got a lot of people on Instagram, man. IG. Love you guys so much. Yeah. Facebook's popping. Everybody here. Good morning, Andrea. What's up? Andrea says, so true. Love life I have created for myself. Good. Liz, Andrea, Mosin, Sunny. God, I got like one of my coaches on the call, mentors. I love you, Sunny, so much. If you're still watching, man, I love you so much, man. I've shouted you out at least out of half the last 3 months of episodes. I've shouted you out on each episode because of all the things you've taught me. Thank you so much, bro. Tammy says, good to see your happy face. No question, just sending you a hug. Okay, love you too, virtual hug back. So I'm going to say that again, okay? For Lauren who's watching. Lauren, make sure you write this one down. It's a one-liner, man. This is a quote. One of the biggest problems people have is they don't trust their own opinions, about something. Isn't that true? Yeah, we got live sound effects. Here's what I mean by that. I realize Yash is a 15-year-old boy just starting out. I think adults have the same problem Yash has, but their egos or their habits of living so long that makes them think they're not allowed to show that part. But Yash has no ego. He's just talking because he's humbling himself. He's like, I want to learn. But I think everyone deep down inside actually thinks like this, where they don't feel like they can actually show you what they really feel. And so I'm like, Yash, do you believe it's a productive thing? He's like, yeah. I'm like, so then don't ask me. Because my opinion shouldn't dictate what you're doing. You should seek counsel, like ask people for things and just like see what they say. But ultimately, you should listen to yourself. If you trusted your own opinions, your own gut, like your own conscience that says this is good, this is bad, you'd be better off in life. And I think most people are actually very hesitant with believing what they think. And that's because other people in their lives have made them believe that what they think is not enough or it's not right. So now they've lost all faith in their own thinking and their own opinions. I'll tell you something about confidence, okay? Confident people believe in themselves and their own opinions and their own perspectives before anyone else's. And what I mean by that is like in terms of confidence, a confident person rarely goes and asks for advice because they first take a ton of action on what they think and they learn from the mistakes they make, right? And then they're not mistakes, they're learnings. And then they'll have a few mentors or coaches that help them see other perspectives. I'm telling you this from experience and from studying these kind of people. Rarely do I see confident people asking all the time, always asking other people's opinions about things before they do things. It's not the way you should build yourself, okay? Only insecure people do this. I'm telling you, like mostly insecure people, most of the time it's insecure people not having faith in their own opinion about something, asking 7 different people, and usually they're asked the wrong people. You know, it's like imagine I was super overweight and I didn't care about my health. It wasn't a priority. And I was very uncomfortable in that part of my life, like my health part. And Yash came and asked me, is it productive to go for a run? Obviously, my biased opinion is going to be like, no, it's not. Go get rich instead. Because let's say I have a gut. I have a huge belly. Well, then why would you ask me? Because clearly to me, it's obvious biasly what's important to me, what's not. So I'm like, gosh. And so that my response to you is this. Make sure you believe your own opinions before and like trust your own opinions. Don't always just go asking. Yes, ask for help. Yes, go get a mentor, but not because you completely lost all faith in your own ability to think about what's right or wrong. Most of the time people ask questions that they know the answer to. And the reason why they ask questions that they know the answer to is simply because they don't trust their own judgment. Yeah. You got to trust your own judgment. Here's what I said to Yash. I said, Yash, look, here's what's productive. Okay. Productive. And I learned this from my mentor, Satish. And so as the president of Think and Grow Rich with 40 years under his belt in business, I had the privilege of learning a lot from him. And one thing I learned from him is when I asked him before, I said, I'm having trouble waking up at 7 a.m. This is like 2 years ago. I would tell him, I said, I'm having trouble waking up at 7 a.m. to go to the gym. And he says, okay. I said, so how can I fix that? He goes, why do you want to go to the gym? Right? And I said, well, because if I start my day off with the gym, I'll have a better day. And he's like, do you have a bad day without the gym? I go, no, but I would have a better day. And then he already realized I'm just trying to create stress for myself for no reason. People do this. And I realized I don't need to do that. Then he asked me a very important question. He says, Armin, if you don't go to the gym tomorrow morning, is it going to stop you from achieving the goal that you have? And I thought about it. And I said, no, it really isn't. Like I could still achieve my goal in business without having to go to the gym. And that's when it hit me. He goes, so then that's why you're not doing it. Because there is no reason to do it. And people create these imaginary stressful pressures on themselves. They put these burdens on themselves out of their own thinking, and it's not even theirs. It's what they think other people think they should do. For no reason. And the reason why you have a hard time installing new habits in your life, for your business or for your personal life, is because you just don't have enough reasons to do it yet. You don't want it. That's what not wanting it bad enough is. You don't know why you want to do that. So I remember asking even Yash, I'm like, Yash, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to make this much millions of dollars. I said, okay. And if you, he actually gave a good answer. I'm gonna give an example figure. He said, I want to make, let's say, $2 million. That's not what he said, but I'm just giving you an example. I said, okay, if you made $1 million, would you be upset? He goes, yes. He gave a good answer. I said, why? He goes, because that's not what I want. I'm like, that's a good answer. Some of you, if I asked you that and I said, what if you made 1.5, not 2? You would say, well, that's okay too. I go, then you're not going to make 2 because you don't care. Right? So what if you made 500,000 instead of 2 million? You'd be like, well, that's a lot of money too. But like, so then that's the real goal you want. Like, what if you made only 50,000? You'd be like, no, I don't want that. See, there is a distinction. There's a level of delusion you have with what you want that you don't actually believe you need. It's until you hit the threshold of, oh, I actually need this amount of money, that you're going to hit that much, not the 2. So I asked him and he gave a good answer back. He's like, that's not what I wanted. I said, okay, good. Let me ask you a question. What are you going to do with that 2 billion, whatever his goal was? He goes, I'm like, that's your problem, man. That's why you're stressed out. You set a goal that you don't believe. Not that it's not achievable. You don't believe it. And you backed it with a bunch of pressure on yourself to do it by a certain time, which is, the pressure is not necessary. The timeline is, okay? But then you also don't know why you need to be working so hard for this. So what's going to happen is along the journey, in the midst of working so hard, one day you're going to ask yourself, why in the world am I doing this? Because you actually don't know why you need the money. So it's not like it's not about setting goals that you just stress yourself out. I'm like, you missed the whole point, Yash. And I'm like, look, I'm talking to a 15-year-old that's incredibly ambitious for his age. But I'm speaking to all of you now listening, all the grown people from anywhere from 5 years old to 100 years old. Listen to what I'm saying. When you set a goal and you get stressed, you miss the entire point of the goal. You already failed. Like you gotta redo what you're thinking here. You gotta go back to the whiteboard, the drawing board, whatever. Because you don't set a goal to get stressed. The whole point of setting a goal is to get excited because you want something. You don't go into something because like you have to. It's only under the circumstance where you have enough motivation, which is that I need this now, I have to do it, that you get it done. But ultimately, you should be doing something because you desire it, not because you need to do it. So I said, when you get this $2 million, whatever he wanted, I said, what are you going to do with it? And he doesn't know. I said, you know why you're not going to achieve this goal, man? Because you don't humanly know anything. Let me reword this properly. I'm like, you don't know what to do with $2 million at your age. So you don't have enough reasons. Like you don't even know how to spend that money or what to do with it. So you're not going to hit it and you're going to keep thinking you're not enough. And that's why you're not hitting it. No, it's just because intelligently you don't need that money right now. So I'm like, what do you actually need? And I asked him, I said, he's made some money online, which is cool. Most people don't make any money online. And he's like, you know what? I'd rather make this much. And he just said a 6-figure number and it's very achievable. And I said, I think you can do that. And do you think? He's like, no, I know I can do that. I'm like, so start there, man. Because trust me, you don't even need that much money, but that's exciting, isn't it? He goes, yeah. So I'll tell you something Satish taught me, okay? For everyone watching, by the way, hey, what's going on, everyone? Hey, Matthew, my man, Matt Black. I love you, bro. But I'm going to call you Matthew King because you changed your name. I don't know if it's because you want to be called that now. Teresa says, now I understand. Good, Teresa, good. So, yeah, because you got all these people like, I want to $400 billion. Okay, relax. It's not that you can't, but just remember, Napoleon said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The problem is the belief part is what everybody's skewed and does not understand. You can conceive anything. You can think of anything you can want. You can want a lot of things. You can achieve anything 1,000%. The determining factor is believing it. And when I say believing it, it's not like this. I can do it. Yes, I can. That's not belief. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Affirmation is just the starting point. That's not all it takes. You need to set something you actually believe you will achieve, not because of your delusion, not just because like I can have anything. Okay, that's fine. I know you can. I'm talking a real practicality, practical. So I'll give you a quick little criteria. I learned this actually from a Think and Grow Rich class with Satish. Napoleon Hill used to set his goals with 2 qualifiers, 2 filters. Okay, Napoleon Hill himself. This is in the archives that Satish picked up. So big shout out to the president of Think and Grow Rich, Satish, for sharing this with me so I can share it with you guys. Okay. So when he set a goal, Napoleon used to do 2 things. First, he set the goal. He made sure the goal was realistic first. Now, everyone, I remember I used to be a network marketer like when I was like 17. And I'm like, realism, what's realistic? I can have anything in the world. I get it. I'm not talking about the motivation behind realistic or not. What I'm talking about is he believed he can do it. You set a goal that you believe it can be achieved. Like you believe, for you, not in the world. Yes, if you go ask, Jeff Bezos right now, or let's just say if you go ask someone who's made $100 million, it's probably super believable and realistic for them to make an extra $1 million this week or this month because they've done that. How else would they be earning $100 million? But maybe that's not realistic to a person who's never made more than $24,000 in a year, $1 million in a month. This probably makes no sense to them. Until they get there, it won't be realistic. So wherever you're at in life, you must choose what realistic is for you. So when you set a goal, you say, is this realistic to me? To me. I'll give you an example. When I started, I had never made over $18,000 in a year. Okay. My whole life, I never made over $18,000 in 1 year. And that's for me doing stupid little things here and there and just freelancing. Okay. My first year in business, when I started Reborn, when I started my life coaching business, I said I'm going to make $100,000. Now, to me, it was on the edge of realistic. You know why? Because I spent so much time in sales before that that I realized if I just sell enough, I can make $100,000. It's not unrealistic. It's realistic. I just got to work really hard. And guess what, guys? Within 4 months of my 12-month goal, I hit my 100,000. I hit 105,000 in sales because I came in ways I didn't think. Now that's a whole nother conversation. I was explaining this to Yash on my mentorship call with him because that's a Think and Grow Rich philosophy. Like I'm a student of this philosophy, and it works. Okay, so 4 months in, we hit the 105,000. But then I'm like, what realistic is next to this? I didn't say, now I'm going to make $1 million. No, I said, now I want to make $250,000 because it's only twice and a little bit more than what I just did. So if I can just do that again, but better and different, I'll make $250,000. Next year we did $250,000. Like I hit my goal. So if there's anyone, like, just know you're getting sound perspective. You're getting good perspective on this because I've actually set goals and I've hit them. Does that make sense? So you want to set goals that are realistic. One, that's what Napoleon did. Second criteria, although it must be realistic, like you can do it with the circumstances you have and who you are and whatever, it also must be challenging. So he would make sure his goal is challenging. And by challenging, it means so take the realistic let's say this is you, right? Let me quickly do this. I'm just gonna, if I can. So let's say this is your line of realistic, okay? Realistic is inside of here, okay? This is realistic. Realistic is one, make sure it's inside. Don't be like, I want to make $30 million. Like that won't work. You don't know what that means. Maybe you've made 50,000 and you want to make 150 because you think if you land a better job or if you make just, increase your sales, you can do that. So make sure it's realistic. But also, here's what challenging means. So when Napoleon Hill set a goal, he would say, make sure it's realistic, but at the edge of what's realistic. At the edge. What I mean by edge is this. Make sure it's like right outside your comfort zone. Because now it's challenging. It is more than what you also do believe, but it's just a little more. So if you got really creative, you will figure this out. If you put it all the way out here, you won't get it. But if you just put it on the outside of your comfort zone, but it's still realistic, now you have a really smart goal. Realistic and challenging. That's Napoleon Hill. So that's what I'm telling you. I hope this is helping, guys, by the way. Everyone here right now, we got so many people on. We got Saad from India asking great questions, man. Lauren says, I got it. Thank you. We got so many people on Instagram. Hey, what's up to everyone on Instagram? We got a few questions here as well. Saad says, hey, Armin, hope you're doing amazing. I've been very productive and things have been great. But as a strategist and working with multiple projects, okay. But recently I've been trying to stop thinking. So Saad says, as it's okay to shut off, but it's been hard. As it's important to shut off, but it's been hard as I start going back to work constantly. How do I take a break mentally, even from productivity? Okay, that was a great question. How do you take a break even from productivity? My straight answer to you, taking a break is also productive. You're not taking a break from productivity. There's no such thing. So going back to my conversation with Yash again, in fact, if anyone saw the recording of this call, you would probably answer all your questions. Saad, listen to me carefully. A part of taking a break, and I don't believe it as taking a break. I think it's just like, how do I look at this? It's not about breaks. Like you're still progressing. So let's say I work 8 hours on my business, and then I go exercise for 3 hours. That's not a break from my business. That's me doing now 3 hours of the business of my body so that I can continue to go. Sleeping is not a break. It's to re-energize to go back to the next day. It's like a battery has to be recharged. So the iPhone is a good example. When I'm charging my iPhone, it's not taking a break from being an iPhone anymore. You hear what I just said? When I'm charging my iPhone, it's not taking a break from being an iPhone. It's still being an iPhone in the charging phase. Whoo! I'm gonna say that again. When you're taking a break, when you're meditating, when you're sleeping, when you're maybe going for a walk, maybe even hang out with some friends. I don't care. Just make sure they're positive friends and they're not losers. And I say that with like all utmost respect, but it's exactly what it is. Don't hang out with losers. Don't hang out with people that have no goals in life, that don't know what they want, that have a negative attitude. They will bring you down. Just don't. There's no justification for this. And there's no gray area. They will eventually affect you. Let's say you do something, right? That's not you taking a break from being who you are. It's a part of you. You're now just in the now I'm relaxing phase, or now I'm doing something other than business phase. It's still working. It's still productive. So I don't think I even finished what I was saying. What Satish told me, I asked him, I said, so how do I know what's productive? And so he answered me very simply, anything you do that's going to help you achieve your goal. Now, let me ask you something, Saad. By meditating, by sleeping, is that going to help you achieve your goal? Yeah, because it's going to help you think better and sharper when you get back to work, when you go back to doing the actual direct thing. So what I was talking to Yash about, I said there's direct productivity and there's indirect productivity. There's two types of productivity. Oh, I didn't erase this yet. So,
I was part of your black and black.
oh, thank you. Thanks, Jay. Check this out. I'm gonna give you guys some really good training here. Okay. There's direct productivity, which is the hands-on working on the business, on the thing, and then there's indirect productivity, which is doing things that help you work better when you get back to direct. So sleeping, meditating, exercising, eating well, learning new things, reading, love. If you're in a relationship, a date, sex. Sex is a great. I'm just being real with you. Sex is a great productive thing with the person you love. Not lust. That drains you actually. Anything that makes you excited or makes you happy, things that you love to do, is productive. Don't indulge in it because then you lose track of your discipline and what you're doing. But it's productive to do it to get re-stimulated. So how you should do it, you should totally learn how to meditate, just sit down, do nothing, close your eyes and just focus on breathing. Or pick up something, a hobby that you love. So I'll give you a tiny personal example of mine, okay? Almost every day, I do something with music. And I love music. If any of you don't know me, I can sing, I can rap, I can play guitar, I can play instruments, I can beatbox. I love music. I can create music. So every night, almost every night, I'll grab my guitar, or in the mornings, and I'll play my guitar for 5-10 minutes. And it feels so good. Or when I'm in my car sometimes and I'm driving, I like to play a beat I have and I would just sing over it or rap over it for fun. These things, they take my mind directly off the goal, but indirectly is on my goal because I'm also living a life I love. I love doing that stuff. So doing anything you love that's just not on the goal is also productive towards your goal because you're feeding your soul, you're feeding your spirit. Your spirit is getting happy because you're giving it what it wants. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Saad. Great question, by the way, Saad. Saad says, how do you shut off your brain from thinking? Sorry, not being able to type. It's okay, bro. Thank you. Keeping the inspiration. Love you, bro. Yeah. So how do you keep your brain from shutting off? There's only meditation. That's the only way to shut it off from thinking. That's what meditation is. I will look up Sadhguru. Okay. Sadhguru. He has for free right now online a lot of his meditation programs, and he has multi-million, hundreds of millions of followers. So he's one of the best in the world. So I will look him up. I actually do his meditations, and I have my own form of meditation. Meditation, though, is my answer. Other than that, doing anything you love that's indirect, I love watching movies sometimes. You know what I mean? That is a productive thing. If I earned it, and it makes me feel great. So as long as the criteria of what you're doing indirectly is good for you as well, I'm man, I love getting drunk and crap faced with my friends. That's a productive thing, Armin. No, it's not. Just so you know, because you're doing something that's fundamentally terrible for your body and your mind. When you wake up the next day, you're going to have to deal with the repercussions. That's not productive. Remember, don't do loser things. Okay. Do winner things. Don't hang out with your friends if you're going to spend 3 hours in heated arguments about politics and coronavirus. That's not productive, okay? Unless that gets you off, I don't know, whatever. But I don't think it's productive. Do positive things, right? Positive things. Don't ask me what positive is. Like I said, trust your own opinions and your own judgment of this. You know what positive is. But that will help you for sure, okay? It's a great question. Also, Teresa says, oh, this makes so much sense. I'm glad it does. It didn't make so much sense. It makes so much sense, okay? We got Jessica here saying, hey, wow, the iPhone example was good. You are working even when you don't think you are working. My dreams when I sleep are productive too. Yeah, by the way, if you're not dreaming about your goal, first of all, I don't dream about my goal all the time. But when I do dream, most of the time it's about my goal. Like I'm doing something around my goal. That means you really got your goal to a subconscious level. Okay, Teresa says, thank you so much. No problem. Olivia says, love this. So if you love it, then do me a favor. Everybody stop. You're watching on Instagram. You're watching on Facebook. Watch on YouTube. Share this video right now. Share challenge. Hashtag share challenge. I want you to share this video. I'm going to type right here now. Share this video. Okay, share the video for me if you can. We want to get more people on the show so they can get their questions answered and we can help them out. Okay, share this video right now. Just it's a second. Click the button. Click the button. All you gotta do is share. That's all you gotta do. Just share it with someone like that. Share it to your story right now. That's all you gotta do. Instagram. You just gotta click a button. Facebook. Come on, help a brother out. We're just trying to get some messages out there. All right. Love you so much, by the way. And if you haven't already, by the way, also, comment your question and hit that like button as well. Like, let's get this going, guys. Let's get some people on the show and listening as well. So, anyways, let's get back to the next question. That was a great question, by the way. What's the next question, Jay?
How do you reignite creativity and imagination to make new content?
Creating content and imagination are two different things, but creating content, there's two ways to do it. There's curating, which is looking at other people's stuff, and then like figuring out your own original version of it. And then there's the actual creative way, like you make it up yourself. And that just going back to your own life experience. So my answer to you would be this. Reigniting it's never unignited. It's just underutilized. I don't think it's an ignition or not. Like you don't turn it on or off. Creativity is always happening. It's just to what level. You know what I'm saying? Like a very low level of creativity is like you just regurgitate what you're seeing. High level is you take different sources and then you bring up your own version of it. The highest level is you get these downloads. Okay, so my answer to you would be very simple. There's two ways to create great content if you have a mental block with your creativity. One is go on a binge. This is what I used to do. I used to go on a binge on YouTube or something, and I watched a bunch of people in the area I was trying to create content for, and I would see what they're saying, and I'd figure it out. And I would take it for what I think, and go, oh, do I agree or do I disagree? And then based off all these different opinions I'd get in the market for content, the content they're sharing, I would create my own version of I might even disagree with everybody and just be like, hey, here's what I think. And that created content for me. And then the download version is go back to your own life experiences. So if you guys noticed, every time I do a show, I almost always share personal examples. So really great content comes from personal experiences. People want to get to know you. They want to know what you've been through. If you can share personal experiences, then you're going to build a better following and an audience, and you're going to create great content. So those two things. Curation is go out and binge watch a bunch of things in a short period of time, and you get all this download of content, and you go, okay, I understand what's going on. Boom. Kind of, by the way, when coronavirus broke out, I watched a lot of interviews about coronavirus, and on the shows for a couple of weeks, I would be giving you my spins of what I got from things, and I shared in third party as well what I learned, and that was good content. Right. And the other version is I go back to my own life, right, of things I've been through and what I've done, and I share with you guys how that is relevant to what I'm saying. So that's a great way to get your creativity kind of sparked up again. But your creativity is always working. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Okay. So I hope that answers the question. What's the next question?
As a buyer, what kind of things catch your eye on social media or at events for you to say, wow?
If you were in person, I would ask you, why is that question being asked? Like, why does that matter? Not a productive question, but I answered it.
They want to understand your buyer's paradigm.
My buyer's paradigm. How I buy things doesn't help anybody. Unless you're targeting like people like me to buy your stuff. Okay, if that's the case, I'll answer. But for anyone asking me, you can ask me personal questions. Just like, you're going to ask a question, ask something that can help you out, because I'll give you some good perspective. So as a buyer, say it one more time so I make sure I answer directly.
What kind of things catch your eye on social media or at events for you to say, wow?
What kind of things catch my eye? Yeah. Stories. I like stories. I like to see what's happened with someone and what they've been through. But that's not just me, by the way. If you look at markets, stories sell more than anything else. Okay. The other thing would be, actually, it's just that. It's just stories. That's just that. And results. I like results because you can't fake a result. Like you can fake but you can't fake the sincerity of real results. Like you can tell the difference. So I like what captures me, my attention as a buyer, and I rarely buy, by the way, just so you know. I'm rarely a buyer, but if it is, um, I like to see a result. Boom, I want this because I want the result, or I love a story. So if you're saying like as an ad, like if I saw an ad, I'll only buy two types of things: something that's showing me a result that I'm looking for, okay, and hitting all my pain points, or if it's a captivating first line and then shows me a story and I want to hear the story. And so those two things captivate me. That captures my attention as a buyer. But I think everybody is to some degree like that, you know. Hope that answers the question as well. By the way, on Facebook, everybody on right now. Love you guys so much. Cheryl, Just, Joseph, Karen, Liz, Nancy, Alexander, Olivia. We got a lot of people on. Love you guys so much. Thanks for being on. If you're on right now, you can ask your questions, or you can go to in the comments, or you can go to askarmin.com and I'll answer your questions live on the show. And everyone on Instagram as well, what's up? I can see you guys here. So yeah, okay. What's the next question? Let's get into it.
You're making an online course. When is the best time to switch to going online? How do I know I'm ready?
You're never ready. You just do it, and then you get ready. We were having a deep conversation about this in my family. We were actually talking about relationships. I was having a conversation with my brother, and his girlfriend was there, and it was actually a fascinating conversation because we were talking about this illusion of when you're ready, when the time is right, you do something. And I realize how you feel about that affects everything, not just business, not just relationship. Like you're never actually, the time is never right to get into marriage or to have a kid or to start a business or to go online or to go offline. There's no such thing as right timing for two reasons. One, because time is not real. But without going into a rabbit hole and swallowing the red pill, I'm not just realize time is relative, meaning it's just completely created. Sun goes up, sun goes down. That's the only real time. There's a process. There's a cycle to life, but there's time itself. There's no specific minute of the day that's a right time. That's just another moment that just passed. Let me try to give a spiritual example without going woo-woo on you, okay? Right now is a moment. Right now as you're watching, it's a moment. Now it's another moment. The difference between now and the moment I just said was seconds, right? You would say no, that was 4 seconds ago and this was 3 seconds later. But seconds don't exist. If you really think about it, it was just a moment. That moment passed, like it just did right now. Now it's another moment. So are you saying that right timing is when a moment feels like you're ready to go? Well, in that case, it could be any moment. It's not like the moment an hour. This is really deep. I'm getting chills as I'm talking about it. I hope you guys don't fall into a rabbit hole, but really just listen to what I'm saying and maybe you'll have an awakening for a moment. The moment I'm going to have 15 minutes from now is no different than the moment I could have right now, which means time is always now. It's not just a marketing statement. It's not just some salesy technique or to say on stage when everyone says the time is now to change. It's because it's true. If you think about it, time doesn't exist. That's the first reason why it's never the right time to do anything, because there's no such thing as the right time. Because time is just a moment that's going to either happen now or later. There is no when later. I can't track the moment, exact specific moment, an hour and a half from now. That moment will pass within a second. It's another moment again. So the only thing happening is consistent moments. My question to you is, which moment do you want to seize as the time to start? Okay, that's the first reason. Second reason is because I read a really good quote, which made me realize you should never wait for things, okay? You should have patience, but don't wait to start something or do something if it's the right thing to do for you. I read that leaders don't always do the right things. They do things and then make them right. I'm going to say it again. I think it was said this way. Leaders don't, leaders don't do the right things. They do the right things, I'm saying, but it's not like they wait to do the right things. They just do things and then make them right. You know what I'm saying? Or if I were to even say it better, it'd be leaders don't wait until it's the right time. They do it and make the time right. My point here is there's a lot of truth to that statement. It's that you will never find a moment without you feeling like it's the right moment. Because the only way it feels like it's the right moment is that you decide it's the right moment. So it's a decision. So when I was having this conversation in my family, we were talking about this, and I'm like, look, if you want to get married, you're never gonna have you're trying to measure life like it's like a computer. It doesn't work that way. Life is an abstract thing. The mind is an abstract thing. Emotions are an abstract thing. It's not, you can measure it to some degree, but you can't put your finger on it. So as in terms of like a hard, like a desk, if I'm like making a desk, yes, I can measure angles and take the wood, matter, and I can shave it off, whatever. But in essence, decisions, emotions, life, timing, feelings are not like that. So you can't say until I've met these 5 different measurements of criteria in life, I'm this and this, that's this. You might get that, you might get rich, you might build a business, might get the body, whatever all these things you want, or whatever it is. And then you're like, now I'm ready to get married. But something else could happen. You might not be ready now. Maybe you don't feel ready even though you got all those things. So it's not always the circumstance. In fact, it's never the circumstance that determines whether you feel ready or not. It is just your attitude. It's another big line. It's never your circumstances or conditions that make you feel ready to do something. It's just your attitude. It's how you think about it. So yeah, so without going into the rabbit hole, just understand you got to just choose the moment and then say it's going to be right now. You're going to make the time right, okay? Don't wait for the time to be right. Oh, that's what it is. Leaders don't wait for the right time. They do something and then make it right. No, it's whatever. You guys get the point though. Leaders don't wait to do the right thing. They do things and then they make them right. That's it. That's a good combination of everything. Leaders don't wait to do the right thing. They do things and then they make them right, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Like, just choose. So if you haven't, I just launched my online business. If you guys anyone's interested, literally, to build an online business right now, where you can, it's not just online business. Like, I'm teaching you how to sell whatever you have, programs, services, anything it has online. And it works offline too, but I adjusted it to online because of coronavirus. So if you guys are interested in doing that, like learning how to make money from home, from your computer, and like actually build your business online now and get clients and all that stuff online, I have a program now done for that. We did it this past Thursday. We launched it. You can just reach out to me personally. But so for me, it was like the right time is now. It was yesterday. Like, just do it. Just do it. Start. You can't measure a time to start something. Just do it, and then it'll become right. Like, you'll do it, and then the time will become right. My bigger thing to you is this. I'm going to stretch your thinking. Don't look at things like this. When you look at it like that, it's just a different way of saying like you're afraid to start for some reason. You should never have fear to start things. Never. You should never have fear to like start something or do something. I'll tell you why. Because the only reason why you'd be afraid is because you think something bad could happen if you start. That's the only logical reason on a very deep level, core level. But nothing bad could ever happen from starting things. If you believe bad things happen, you'll always be afraid to do things. I'm telling you this right now, like, you got to just eliminate bad things happening. Things happen, and then you learn from them. So technically, there's no such thing as mistakes in life. They're just learnings. They're just lessons. And so you shouldn't have regrets. At Reborn, I teach this a lot, which is like, you shouldn't, like, there's no such thing as regrets. There's no such thing as regrets. No, that's miscommunication. That's resentment. There's no such thing as regrets. It's just lessons that are seen as mistakes. Hidden lessons or something. This isn't a speech I wrote like 3 years ago. I still remember the saying. But the point is, there's no such thing as resentment. That's what I said, which is it's just unresolved miscommunication. Like, if you could just talk, it'll get better. You don't have to resent a person. And then there's no such thing as regrets. It's just lessons disguised as mistakes. That's what I'm saying. Lessons that are disguised as mistakes. Meaning you should literally just be learning from everything that happens. There's no mistakes. That makes sense? So if you just think that way, you're never afraid to start anything. You're not afraid to take any action because you have to hit mistakes. You got to hit those mistakes, learn from them so they become an experience for you. All right, so I hope that answers the question. For everyone on right now, what's going on, people? Make sure you share the video and ask your questions at askarmin.com. All right, Jay, what's the next question?
What do we have for time? You have one more?
6 minutes.
6 minutes left to 1 hour?
One more?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. By the way, Cheryl says, I never regret anything because you once wanted to do it. Yeah, sure. That's a great way to look at it too. You wanted to do it when you did it, so it's not a mistake or a regret. But ultimately, you just want to learn from everything. And then you'll never be worried about, doing something. All right. Let's go. Next one.
How important is a website? Should I post on social media and start my business even without one?
Websites are absolutely useless. Websites are absolutely useless. And I'll add to the list of that. So is a logo. So is a photo shoot. So is a resume. So is a one sheet. So is any type of branding. Let me finish the sentence. If you're looking to make sales, if you want to get clients for your business, none of those things actually matter. Majority of the time. And I'm going to tell you what does so you understand where I'm coming from. Website, logo, graphic stuff, photo shoots, all of this stuff, all useless. If you want to get clients for your business, here's what does matter. Results. And let me say it to you in one sentence and you'll get my point. No amount of branding, no amount of website design, pictures of you, pictures with famous people, all this crap we all do to make us look like to get perceived like we're an expert. None of this can compete with you showing 5 people that got incredible results from what you're selling. None of them. Okay. Actually, in my free strategy group, Coaches That Speak, I did a whole 1-hour in-depth training on this, which is how to sell with results instead of salesy techniques or tactics or branding. Even in my book, the 5 things you don't need to build a coaching business, which technically matters for everything, not just coaching businesses. I talk about why fancy branding is not necessary to make a lot of money or to build your business. It eventually is necessary because at the level of clientele you'll get, they'll be asking for the professionalism part. But when you're starting or you've been going at it for a while, the only thing you need to get clients is results. Okay? Results that you can show. Look at it like this, 3 steps. Step 1, get results so you can show them. Step 2, show them. Show the results. Step 3, get clients. Get results, show results, get clients. Simple 3-step system. And you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on websites and nothing. Nothing. You don't need this stuff. And I'm not saying you don't need it. You can have it. You don't need it. And I'm just telling you, for everyone to spend money on this stuff, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. But I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. You wasted your money. I spent $2,000 on my website, and people don't even land on it. You can go to my website. It's arminshaffi.com. It's outdated. I haven't even updated it yet because it doesn't matter. It doesn't get me clients. It doesn't build my business. It's just something that people look at, and I'm going to update it, and I'm just going to literally redirect it to my funnels. I'm just going to redirect it to my sales funnels. So it's like the website doesn't even get me clients. My sales funnels do. That's the better version of a website because it's just one simple page that tells you to do one simple thing that gets them to become your client. That makes more sense, but I didn't even need those things. I've sold over almost $1 million worth of my programs and products in the years I've been doing business, and I didn't have a website. I didn't even have funnels. Most of the time I didn't have funnels. I just got results. Make sense? My product was good. If you focus on quality, so you put out things that are good, it'll sell itself. Trust me. Marketing comes as a bonus. But if you want marketing to make up for a crappy product or no results, you're not going to make money in your business. Okay, you're just not. So I hope that answers the question. Go online, but don't build a website. If you want to go online, just message me personally. I'll help you out. I'll tell you what to do to get results fast without wasting all your time and money on stupid things that don't matter. You don't need them. All right. Biggest crime happening in entrepreneurship. You are murdering time. You should grab a clock, grab a knife, and just sit there in your living room like this. Okay. You're murdering time. You're murdering your valuable, non-replaceable, never coming back time by doing things that don't matter. That is the biggest crime every entrepreneur commits. You are absolutely strangling to death. I'm using the most extravagant examples. You are suffocating your time. Grab a clock and blow it up. You have destroyed your time doing things that don't matter. Wasting is an understatement. You are, like I said, you're murdering time. You're not wasting time. You're murdering it. And it's all because you just don't know what you should be doing. Hit me up and I'll help you out. I murdered time myself. I'm an ex-con of time murdering. I've repented since. I went through rehab. I'm here now. Business is growing and I'm doing less because I'm doing the right things. Small things that matter. How much time we got left?
45 seconds.
45 seconds. So guys, I love you so much. Thank you for tuning into the show. Look, if you want to get your questions answered and stop murdering time, stop Michael Myersing your time, stop Jason and Freddying your time, just stop all the scary movies with your time. Okay. You can ask your questions at askarmin.com. You can go to this website right here. Just put it up. I already saw you. Askarmin.com. Go right here right now. I'm going to shout you out and give your send you some traffic and some people. You can check out your pages too. So go to askarmin.com to ask your questions. Share the video. I love you so much. This is the #1 show for entrepreneurs who need clarity. Thank you for Instagram for being live, Facebook for being live, and YouTube. I love you so much. Hit me up. Let me know your questions down below in the comments section below. I'm your host, Armin Chaffee, and I'll see you soon. Make the rest of your week the best of your week.